So when you're building out your offer, first and foremost, you have to think about the journey that your customers are on, all right? And I know it sounds cheesy and it sounds cliche, but it's critical. So an offer or a product that doesn't have an audience cannot solve a problem for someone, all right? And I'll repeat that one more time. An offer that doesn't have an audience or a customer, meaning that it's just a product for the sake of being there and just existing for anyone who wants it, is not solving a massive problem for a specific person. And that's going to prevent us from making any real traction in getting calls, getting sales, and so on. So we must zero in on who your audience is and what problems that they have. And they are coming to you because they have a problem. We have to remember that. They're coming to you because there's an issue that they absolutely need to solve. They're coming because there's potentially a key piece that they are missing to solve that problem, and you have that, all right? And in their eyes, they might not even realize that, okay? It's almost like they're standing on one side of a huge, crazy whitewater river, and success or their goal is on the other side of that river, okay? So they're looking at that, they want to get to there, but there's no bridge in between, so they don't know how to get there. Or what's more likely is that there is a bridge, but it's one of those like creepy old bridges in the movies where like your feet fall through and they can't cross because they'll plunge to their death. So what I mean is the solutions that are out there that they're probably utilizing now are lackluster. They're not as good. They're not as deeply solving the problem as you can for them, all right? So your job right now is to get these customers, get these prospects to the other side of that river and make them feel as safe and confident in that process as possible. And you're going to do that by removing barriers and obstacles one by one, or by placing stones or a bridge in this river, okay? And in a previous video, I showed you this graphic, which was outlining how you should start to see yourself when you're in the midst of a problem that you're trying to solve, all right? So this exact same exercise can be applied to your customer's journey in how to outline your offer for them. We're first going to start doing that by changing the mindset from just outlining an offer or outlining a pitch to your clients to thinking about a transformation. We're going to think about the transformation your customers are going to take. But we can't outline a transformation unless we hit these critical components first. So that first component, the first thing that we need to outline is where our customers are today, which is where they are now, which is their current state. They're not in that gap, remember? They're in point A. It's their current state. And we can do this in any number of ways, but one of the best ways to do this is to look through what problems they currently have, what pains or challenges they're experiencing, what emotions they're feeling, right? Like where are they feeling trapped or stuck or frustrated? And what are they currently trying to do that's just not working? So if I can outline their current state and get really, really specific about who they are, right, then I can absolutely get on their level. And I'm going to be like, I know exactly the problems you're having right now. You're probably feeling this, and this, or you're experiencing ABC pains and you're challenged with this, but you can't get there and it's making you feel like XYZ, okay? So one of the best ways to get your audience's attention is to literally just tell people who they are, okay? Here's a great example. In our company, Web Canopy Studio, we build websites that convert really, really well for a lot of great companies. And when people ask me what we're doing differently, what's the secret to those websites, they'll think it's the way we code or it's how we're designing, or they'll think we're doing a bunch of stuff with SEO and things like that. But the secret, right, the secret sauce is what I'm telling you now. All we're doing on the websites that we build is focusing on who the person is that the website's selling to. We're just telling them who they are. That's the trick to get people on your website to engage with you at the very beginning. It's not about your company. It's not about your accolades. It's not about the features. It's literally telling people who they are and what problems they have and how that makes them feel. Because once I get on their level and they realize, yes, I have this pain. Yes, I feel this way. Yes, you understand me because you clearly know what I'm experiencing, and most people don't, then their guard drops a little bit, okay? Their guard drops down a little bit, and we have the ability to start to really position a positive and a productive conversation about getting them to the next point, which is point B. And point B is what success looks like to them, okay? It's where they want to be. It's looking at their life 1, 2, 5, 10 years down the road and identifying what life they want to have, whether that's personal, whether that's business, it doesn't really matter at this point, but it's about defining where they want to be. And we're going to do this by defining exactly what that looks like, just like we did for point A. So we can do that in a number of ways as well. But you're going to ask questions like, what actually does success mean? What actually happens when the problems we've identified are solved? What emotions are they feeling at that point? What are they relieved? Are they confident? Are they stress-free? How does that help them personally? And what are they gaining back? Okay, what are they saving? And you can also think about the tangible outcomes. So if I were you, one other thing that I would really think through is long-term desires versus short-term or immediate results that they want to have, because different people are going to be motivated by different things, all right? So really, this is just about finding what success means to them and then what that success feels like. Don't leave off emotions here, my friend, because it's an absolutely critical piece. And we'll hit on this more in another module, but you need to know that people will rarely make buying decisions based on logic. All right. They almost always make buying decision based on emotion. So emotion is critical. Feelings are critical. We have to make sure we outline what that looks like for them. Okay. So once we have our point A and we have our point B outlined, which again is our current state and our desired state of our customers, we need to start looking at their journey and how they're going to get there. And up until this point, we haven't even talked about what you're selling, right? We haven't even talked about what you're actually going to do for your customers as deliverables go. Okay. Remember that it's very intentional, because what you're actually doing, like what's included in your services, what features there are, your products and so on, is so incredibly low on importance at this stage. It's almost a non-factor, right? It's kind of like your clients are going to a doctor, which is you. Okay. And they walk in and they sit down on that really high up table with the weird paper, and they're coming to talk to you about the problems. What the doctor needs to do at that point is listen to the patient, right? The doctor or you need to understand that the problems that you're having are real, and they need to know what you're experiencing. So from there, that doctor has this path or this journey that they need their patient to take to reach a desired result. The doctor is not going to walk in the room, say hello, and then be like, hey, nice to meet you. Here's a list of all the cool pills and the cool treatments I want to prescribe to you because you came to me and that means you want my solution. So I'm just going to walk you through that. And if you want them because you think it'll work, then I'll sell it to you. I'm looking at you guys right now who are selling software, because this is literally how 95% of software demos go, right? We get people to book a demo, we get some small talk in, and then we can't wait to start showing them the platform. And we can't wait to start showing them features that we think they're going to love. And it's the same for you guys that are selling services too, because if you're doing proposals, you're ready to get that proposal out the door. You're ready to get on a call and walk them through that proposal. Okay? You're not really talking about the stuff that's really important to them. We have to walk them through this journey. So what we need to do is take again another look and take a step back and see where our customer is now, what point A is, see where they want to go, which is what point B is, and start asking ourselves, what obstacles are in the way for our client? What hurdles do they need to jump over, or what objects do they need to blast through in order to get to point B? So again, a huge shift. This is a big pivot in our thought process, because we're going to make a list. It doesn't need to be formal. It doesn't need to be written in a special way. Just start writing down all the different things that you know are obstacles that are preventing people from point A to point B, or what those big issues are. Because all of those obstacles are legitimate opportunities for you to address and to start positioning your offer around. So what we want to do is make that list of obstacles, then really think through, what are the 3 or 4 of the biggest obstacles that kind of all other obstacles fall under, all other issues fall under? What are those 3 to 4 huge problems or huge barriers that eat up all the others? All right. And that might be a little easier for some, and for others it might be more difficult. But, and again, if you're not sure what to do here, again, I would just write it all down. And even if it's like 20 different things, and really think through what those biggest ones were and see if you can pull out some of the really key critical components there. Because the next thing you're going to do is put yourself in the shoes of your prospect, and you're going to think to yourself, okay, this is where I'm at now. This is where I want to be. And these are all the stepping stones that I'm going to take to get there. So which one is going to be the most important? All right. Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels calls this the biggest domino. Okay, out of everything that needs to be solved, which one of these is the most important element or the biggest domino that must fall in order for the rest to be true or in order for the rest to fall? So there's some psychology at play here too. We want to get the things that the people need the most up front so that they can feel that they are going to get their biggest issues solved right away. For example, no one wants to join a 6-month weight loss program only to be told that they won't actually lose a pound until the last day, right? No one would buy it. People want to lose that weight immediately, so they want that 5 pounds gone in week 1, okay? Plus, as they go through that program, those wins are going to help them stay motivated and to keep validating themselves throughout that this process is working. So you have to do that same transformation for your client. When you look at your list of those pillars that you've created, you need to decide which one is the most important and that biggest domino that they need to have first. So another example, if you're helping someone who has zero insight into, let's say, like their attribution reporting of their sales. So they think they're losing a ton of money. They don't know where their sales are coming from. You could say your first pillar is something like foundational reporting is what you'd call it. Okay. And when you're on your sales call, how you'd position this, you'd say like, so Phil, you know how you were saying actually, you don't really know where your customers are coming from. And that's making you feel like you're leaving money on the table and ultimately you're feeling pretty frustrated, right? Well, actually the very first thing that we're gonna do with you is go through what we call foundational reporting, okay? And what that means is we're gonna do X, Y, Z. And so we're just walking them through their biggest issues and why that's important, how that's making them feel, and why it's critical for them to solve that as time goes on.